And we are back here for the conclusion of the fingerprint experiment that I've been going through all day long. You're going to see this over a couple days, but I did this all in one day. And I will say we did not find any sort of fingerprints on the cards themselves. The thing that bothers me the most is I'm never going to really know for sure what actually took place here. I have my own thoughts and conclusions. You're going to have your own thoughts and conclusions, which I will most likely see in a few days from now. But I don't know where this actually takes me, and it really bothers me a lot on that. Right, so I opened a sealed display of Hestia, not Hestia, it feels like Hestia, right? Is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? I opened this thing, I took out a trial deck and took a look at it. The plastic here did not have any sort of markings whatsoever, and that could have, like, no fingerprints or anything like that, and that could have just been like one worker that decided to wear gloves, and then just somehow, luckily, that I got the three trial decks in question all had fingerprints on them. But does that make sense that someone would actually wear gloves to not wear gloves there and then put the gloves on before opening the cards? I don't know. That doesn't really make that much sense for me as well. Some of the bands look like they had some questionable fingerprints on them. It wasn't like a clearly defined fingerprint, so I didn't want to call them that. But was that enough to say that there was a fingerprint? Because I was telling my wife about the conclusion of all this, and she was holding mail. She came in from getting our mail from the post box, and when she was holding it, like, when you think about this, when you're opening this stuff, are you having like a giant death grip that you could put a clear fingerprint on there? More likely not. You know, you're just gonna open it. You're just cupping these cards. You're not really trying to leave a well-defined fingerprint on an actual card. That is not what you're looking to do. So the hard part about this is, really, was there any other giveaways that tells us this was opened or not? I can't tell. And going back to this video that I did have on here, let me just flash this. Right, you have enough people that are out here that don't really trust this. Like, when you look through the list, it's no particular order, it's just whatever I'm just scrolling through. You can see people that actually totally have no 100% trust that this is real. There's only one person on here that said that this is probably okay. So, but that's not very good. That's not very good at all. If you had to just take a survey, how many people really want to buy something that could be potentially tampered with? I don't think that's true. I know Bushy Road is up to making changes to their trial decks and displays, because what we had in here, as I showed, was there was styrofoam on the top. My belief was the styrofoam was to protect it if it were to shake and then break the actual package itself. So what we saw here with the trial deck, right? Like, even though there was that styrofoam on here, there is a little bit of that lifting up that's happening there. On mine, there was a little bit of a cut, but what they're trying to do is actually improve the quality of this actual product. And I think going back to what we've had before was this, where this Ruby trial deck, where we have tape on the bottom here. Even though it's just a piece of tape, that tape does wonders for me in the confidence level of making sure that, right, nobody went into this from the bottom and pulled it out and checked it for sign cards. That's not what we want to have here. And I know your push for getting people into playing this game, push for collectors to collect. If you have this many people in my comments just questioning the authenticity, the legitimacy, the integrity of the package itself, that is not what we want to have. And hopefully you can push for that. I know you're probably saving a little bit of money by having the package the way it is, not having that tape on there, but really I think that hurts it overall in the end. So I wish that you would go and change that, because for me in the future, what am I going to do here? Like, thinking about all this, I had to take a breather after doing all those videos and to collect my thoughts. I used to buy single trial decks, which I've been trying other sellers for. I've been buying single trial decks, and then I would buy my displays that I wanted to keep for myself, whether I wanted it for my own collection or if I wanted to actually have that for investment purposes. But I wanted to keep these sealed. I think now going forward, I'm going to give those other sellers that I bought these from another chance. But what I'm going to do is really just buy these and open it. Like, it's just going to be the only way that I know 100% that this is going to be fine, because I don't have an LGS. I can't stare at them as they get the package and make sure that they're not doing anything shady with it. Right? That's very unfortunate for me. Lucky for the people that do have it. I know there are people on the internet that people say are trusted sellers. Again, if I cannot see them, even though you had a great experience with them, I could tell you that there's been sellers that people have said they trust and had great experiences. I can give you another person that had a bad experience. Even myself, I've definitely had bad experiences with people that are trusted sellers. And I don't name any of these people at all. I don't name any of these sellers for the whole fact that I can't see it. I don't know what really happened on this scenario. And maybe it was just a bad day. Something occurred there. So it happens all the time. Who can you really trust other than a person that you can actually see, touch, and throw if it need be? So I, unfortunately, if I have to go this route where I have to buy these displays, I more than likely will probably end up buying less of this stuff because it's less money that I have, right? Instead of just buying one for display or two to play with, or three, one for display and two to actually play with, I have to buy 6, which means that maybe I buy one less booster box. Maybe I'm not going to skip a set, but maybe I buy a little less of this stuff. So it's sad, it's unfortunate, but this is what I really have to do in order just to keep my own peace of mind. And that's definitely unfortunate. There's so many reasons why people want to game the system in Weiss Schwarz. That being, guaranteed drop. Let me take that back, since there's apparently there's no guaranteed drop rate, even though we know there is a drop rate. There is some sort of drop rate that leads to people mapping and dead boxes. With these trial decks, people open them from the bottom and pull it out, and people are going to wear gloves now just because of what I'm showing here, that there's someone crazy enough to actually fingerprint this stuff, that being myself. I will do that. If there's someone out there like me, then they probably will do that too, because I can't be the only one out there that had this thought cross my mind. And I definitely wasn't, because someone wrote in the comments before that they attempted to do this before as well. So not only person that has thought and done this. So I am kind of disappointed that the trial decks have gone this way, as in the changes to it, not the pull rate. I mean, I didn't get an SP. I didn't expect it. I didn't find the fingerprints. We never really knew what was going to come out of this. And at the end of the day, because it's been so inconclusive, right? We have the bands. We have the bands over here that kind of look like it could have been a fingerprint. We had this display of DanMachi that there were no fingerprints on it, where all the other ones had it on there. I don't really know what to make of all of that. It just could have been the luck of the draw of the worker that I got that actually touched it. And at the end of the day, that means I need to go and change my strategy on what I buy and how much I buy and where I buy it from, apparently. So hopefully this doesn't drive you all mad with paranoia. That wasn't the whole point of it. It really was to call out that there are issues with this and you need to know about it. So if you have any comments, if you want to rate me, there are 2 ways to actually do this. I don't think I really ever showed this since I added the Twitter. But yeah, if you ever wanted to rate me, you just write here on... I didn't write the Twitter on this one. This is an older one. You can email me here. There is a Twitter for me now. Let me just click this. Not watch that. Yeah, there it is. There's my Twitter. Feel free to come out there and rate me if you want to rate me through Twitter, or as always, rate me in the comments of this YouTube video. I try to answer all of you because I think it's just a lot of fun just to hear different perspectives, okay? So as always, have fun, be happy, and don't spend anything outside your budget. Have a good one.